guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Bad Cube Old Timer Series of Demolitions Brawny. Now, as I said, this is Old Timer Series number 2. Now, you may be asking, what's Old Timer Series number 1? I don't remember ever getting that. Well, as you can see down here, it says that Bad Cube 2014 comes from Cubex 2013. After a very unfortunate situation with the factory in creating Cubex's Old Timer Series number 1 figure, that being Huff, Cubex decided to get a brand new factory and rebrand themselves to kind of distance themselves from that really unfortunate situation. And out of that came Bad Cube, and they're responsible for giving us Brawny. And now we come around here to the back. As you can see, Brawny is essentially their homage to the Generation 1 character Brawn. Much like Huff was their homage to Huffer, Brawny here basically is their take on what a masterpiece Brawn would look like. For the package, though, you can see that he does have a nice tech spec right here, showing off his strength, intelligence, speed, and all that. Come down here, and it says Brawny is a tough, powerful warrior. Stocky build with incredible strength for his size, it is said that he is the second strongest among the entire gang. Brawny loves a challenge and always ready to rumble. To back up his ballsy action, his armor is almost impenetrable. I gotta give props to any company that uses ballsy in the description. That's pretty impressive. And this is not suitable for children under 36 months. It's funny, instead of saying 3 years, they just say 36 months. But I mean, for the package, that's about it for it. It's nothing overly spectacular, very simple. So without further ado, why don't we get Brawny out here and let's see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Brawny open up and out of its packaging. And right up front, I want to let you know that the Autobot logo is obviously not a part of this. This is a third-party, unofficial Transformer, and that sticker was added by me just to kind of further enhance the look from my collection, so don't expect that to come with it or anything like that. But starting off with his accessories, I guess, I mean, he does have a couple. You can see that he's got a little piece right here that clips in, and I'll touch on that here in a little bit. But he does come with 2 collector cards, and one thing that I think that's really interesting is they're double-sided, but what's cool is when you look at it and you put it like this, it's like an official Takara one where you have the image of Brawny, and then you come around here to the back, and if you keep it like so, you have an image of the toy, his vehicle mode, and his tech specs, as well as a bio here. And then, and obviously, like I said, it's 2 different cards that are just overlapped. Then if you take it and flip it like so, you got a completely different kind of collector card with the bio that was on the back of the box. I think that's really cool how they do that. That's definitely a neat touch. I probably would have preferred it if it was just 2 cards, one designed like this and one designed like this, but I think it's kind of neat that you can flip-flop them and use them any way that you want. But taking a look at Brawny himself, vehicle mode, he looks really good. Now, he's not an exact replica for how Brawny looked in the cartoon. This is more of a real-life kind of card look, but it's something that Takara really has kind of pioneered, and I think that they're doing a really good job here replicating it as well. This guy definitely has a more real-world look. If it was a little bit more cartoon accurate, this would be a little bit more squished in. There'd be less the roof space up here. In doing so, it would kind of squish him in a little bit more. As it is, he's a little bit longer. This just pops out. It just pegs in here, right here on a tab. So I'm just going to take that, set that off to the side. But it would be a little bit more squat in, but I like the way it looks. I think it's fairly decent. And I really do think gives you that kind of Brawn look. He's got his extra tire right up here. Like you could see, this is a little gas can that hangs out there. I don't particularly care about using this. Now, you can separate this. Honestly, I forgot how to separate this. You just take this out, and it has his gun inside here. It's kind of a pain in the butt, honestly, to get to. You just kind of wedge it out, something like this. It's got his gun in here. There we go. And then these little bits here will store in his vehicle mode, or his robot mode. I could really care less about storing those, but he does come with a gun that you can see flips down. You got a little handle that comes down, and you have his gun. So you do have that for as an accessory. Now, if you get this in a 2-pack with him and Backlund, which you can see I still have in the box, because honestly, I could care less about this. As you can see, it's a recreation of Outback, but I never really cared about the Outback character, so I'm just probably going to sell this or something like that. But if you do buy the 2-pack, you do get this special little case here. That really cool design, gives it a very cartoon look to it. And I just get this out of the way. It kind of looks like a tube that they would have in, you know, Autobot headquarters or something like that. Open this up. It's very heavy-duty cardboard. You take it out, and it comes with a couple additional accessories. You can see that he's got this large cannon here, which is very similar to the Megatron Fusion cannon that he used in the G1 episode. I don't remember which one it was. Also in, I think it was More Than Meets the Eye, he used this flame torch thing here to, I think it was rescue Huffer, who was trapped underwater by a giant beam. So you do get that. You also get an alternate face that has a more angry look. You do get a little clip thing here that can go on the top of them right there. You got a radar dish thing here. I think these are more, well, maybe not necessarily the radar dish or the little clip thing that goes on here, but I think the radar dish and obviously this alternate face is meant for Backlund, and that's just gives him the silver eyes, more like his G1 toy. So if you do get that set, you do get that as kind of a freebie, I suppose, but honestly for me, I'm perfectly happy with this and him having his gun. And like I said, vehicle mode, I think it looks really good, has a very nice resemblance to a real life vehicle. You can see you got the tire up there, he's got the 4 tires around here, plastic tires, which I like. You got the nice silver on there. Some real good paint applications on here as well. You got some silver along here in the side where you can see like little side lights or whatever. You got some nice silver and yellow painted up here. It kind of looks like it actually, or he actually has translucent headlights, which is really cool. You got some nice silver up here on like the floodlights or whatever those are. Come on in the back, you got some nice painted tail lights. This section right here is a solid window, but these ones are all translucent, so you can kind of see in there, but they're a little cloudy, so it hides some of the robot junk that's in there. But overall, vehicle mode, I'm really happy with him. I think he looks cool. Like I said, the Autobot logo is something that I added, but I just think helps to pull out that Autobot look, and I also added it here that you can see that this is going to be his chest. I put one down there as well. But I like him. I think he's a good-looking vehicle mode. Now, one thing that I actually did forget to point out was he does come with another accessory, and that is his little drill bit that we saw very famously in, I don't remember which episode it was, but one of the early episodes of G1, and as you can see, it just plugs right in there, which is absolutely terrific. I love that little nod right there. I mean, I'm not going to be displaying it like that. I mean, I'm honestly not going to be displaying him in vehicle mode anyhow, just because I think he looks so great as a robot. But for the transformation, first what you want to do, come around here to the top section here, and you want to grab hold of these little rails and kind of pull them down, and you can angle them down just like so. From here, you can separate this, kind of angle this, lift this up. You can tuck this underneath here if you want to right then. Bring these out. You're going to separate these legs, and then take this section here. Actually, I should have did this a little bit earlier. Fold this, and then fold this out just like so. You're going to rotate these around, but first I'm going to rotate his foot out like so. Fold out the toe, rotate that around, and then bring this down. Then you got this little whole section right here that on the inside here, this panel, you're going to just rotate this around and tab that in. Now, here's where you can actually take these little pieces right here, and you can tab these on the inside here if you really wanted to. It kind of fills in the back. I don't honestly care about doing that. I think it's a great way to actually store that, or I should say those extra pieces, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly, for me. So again, rotating this around, get this all the way around, make sure that you get that lined up perfectly so that you can tab that, and then do that on this side as well. Get that angled all the way down, and then you can tab that in along the side. Straighten this out. You can bring this out like so, creating his knee bit. Do that on this side as well. I'm going to spin this around, tab this portion right in. Do that knee bit right here. You kind of have to wiggle this a little to get it to pop out. There we go. Just get that all the way around just like so. Fiddle with these legs, get that straightened out. Again, if you wanted to, you got the little, well, the opposite side, you got the little holes on the inside right here that you would just peg this in. And I'm just going to put them there for the sake of this review so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I mean, like I said, I like that it fills in the back of the leg, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. It's a little bit easier when you don't have that piece down. It's a great usage of space, but like I said, I don't think it's entirely necessary. So just getting that there for the sake of this video, and like I said, it fills that in pretty nicely. And then come around here, get this out. You're going to come around here to the arms, take these are going to swivel out. Do that on both sides, kind of angle this down like so. Take these, you're going to, we'll do that here in a minute. Take this section here, separate this, separate that. This whole piece right here detaches just like that. Tuck that down, then open these and rotate these around just like so. Keeping this up a little bit, you bring this down and then bring that all the way down as well. And this, you want to make sure that you collapse this in where these the tabs on the inside kind of grab the centerpiece. That way it kind of locks everything into position. So bringing this down, that way everything stays nice and secure. So bringing this up just like that, keep this down, and I didn't even do it right. So bring this out, keep all that pushed down, and then push all this in, and you'll grab hold of that pin on the bottom side here, and that's what holds the waist into place. And then you get that, and then you just fiddle with that, rotate this around like so, and then this section comes in, tabs in along the outside, completing that side of his chest. Do that on this side as well. Do that there. Tuck that in, tab that into place. I love the way that actually creates this full-on chest. That's so cool. Rotate this down, rotate that down. Well, you can lift this up, fold his fist out there, bring that back down, straighten out his arm. Do that here as well. Fold out this panel, rotate his fist around. Oh, I don't like not having fingernails. Everybody always talks about using plastic things to pry things out. Here, I'll use a plastic sword. There we go. Use that, bring that out, bring that down, straighten this out, and then you just take this, collapse this along the back, and there you have Brawny in his very cool looking robot mode. And I am really very impressed with this figure. A lot of collectors were really on the fence about this. The reason is because Bad Cube used to be known as Cubex, and they were responsible for this guy, Huff, which is their not Huffer figure. Now, a lot of people have problems with this in terms of the quality control, and unfortunately, that was really the fault of the factory. They used bad plastic, they used bad paint. Luckily, I didn't get any of those problems. The worst problem that I have is this leg is a little bit loose, but I mean, that's really not all that bad. You can see the paint actually is really very good on here. But the rest of the collector community got bad ones. So they were really on the fence about it. But what I absolutely love is that Cubex recognized the problem, change factories, and even change their name to kind of disassociate themselves with that first bad outing. And they've really done a great job with Brawny here. This guy really is terrific. The plastic quality is very top notch. All the joints are very tight. There's some ratchets in here. Everything just comes across very nicely. Now, as I talked about before, if you ordered this with Backlund, you got this extra little case thing that came with some more accessories. That being these pieces right here. Now, as you can see, this is very reminiscent of Megatron's fusion cannon. In one of the early episodes of G1, Megatron got knocked down, his fusion cannon, went out to the side. Brawny, or Brawn in the cartoon, actually picked this up and utilized it, and I love the fact that they included it. It's a great little homage. He also does come with his regular gun. We'll bring this out. But what you do, you just open up the hands. The fingers are articulated here, although it's really, these are stiff. So if you guys are worried about, like, stiff joints, you don't have to worry about them here. So you just wedge it in there, have him hold it, and now he's got this guy, which, again, massive cannon, getting his feet actually in position. You can see that he holds it very nicely, although the feet are bent. get that position right. So he holds that very securely. You can see that his joints really are strong and allow him to hold that big, large fusion cannon. That looks really very cool. Taking this out, just his regular accessory is his standard handgun. You just tab that in there like so. Rotate that around, and he's got just a regular little cannon, or handgun I should say. That's not really a cannon. Setting that off to the side. One thing that's also really very neat, and is kind of poetic in the fact that it's, you know, Brawny is being their second figure and all, and their first figure was Huff, when G1 had a really cool scene where Brawny actually saved Huffer. You got this little piece right here. You just take this, kind of slide this in, and that hooks on, and then you close that. I'll get that to actually attach. And it's got a little torch cutting thing, and that's basically what Braun used to save Huffer in like the second episode or something like that. Huffer was underneath some giant steel beams, and Braun came over, pulled this out, and actually used that to cut him loose. I think that's a great touch to include as an accessory, especially since, like I said, this is their second release after their not Huffer figure. I think that's a great little touch to put in there. But bringing out his hand just like that, and one other final piece, and then you come around here. This is kind of tricky to do. You gotta pull his face out, although I'm not going to bother with it. I'll just leave it like that. But you do get an alternate head sculpt with, or face sculpt. It's more of an angry sculpt, bringing in the camera so that you can kind of see that. You see, you just got the open angry mouth, and then you got a more neutral one. Well, literally, you just open this, and then you detach this in there, although I'm not very good at it. So you got the eyes that are on there, so those eyes kind of carry over. It's kind of hard to see, but he actually has some really nice blue reflective eyes. You can kind of see it there. It's a little bit hidden because of his helmet, but it's really cool that they decided to give you an additional face. Now, you can't really do anything with this. I don't know. You can't really peg it anywhere, but you do still have all that. So I love all these additional accessories. I do wish that you could get them without having to get Backlund. I mean, I do like Backlund. It's just a character that doesn't have a real place in my masterpiece collection, but Brawny here fits beautifully. Now, for his articulation, you can see that the head does swivel up and down. It does look left and right very nicely. You got some nice ratchets, fairly soft ratchets, but you can hear them rotating around, moves in and out. He rotates here at the upper part of the bicep. He's got two elbow joints. That the lower one is actually on a ratchet, whereas this is just on a swivel. He can rotate at the wrists, the hands can open up, as you could see. Unfortunately, unfortunately, what am I talking about? He does rotate at the waist. I thought he didn't. I'm a little bit shocked at that. I'm sorry. He does have fairly soft ratchets here as well for the hips. They move in and out. They also rotate at the upper part of the thigh. He's got technically two joints here at the knee, but one is mostly used to kind of create some height difference between him and actually Backlund, so it's not too much of an extra joint, but it is there that you can utilize it. And then the feet do pivot side to side. They do move. They don't. Do they move forward and back? No, they don't move forward and back. But you do have the toe that can bend forward and back. So you do have that range of motion. What did I knock loose under here? I knocked something loose. Maybe no, I didn't. But you do have a lot of articulation. It's all what you really would expect in a figure, and it's just a really impressive outing by Bad Cube, if you ask me. I really think that they did a terrific job with this guy, and really, without a doubt, has me looking forward to the rest of the figures that they're going to be giving us. Now, to transform him back, we're going to take his wrists, tuck these back around like so, and then bring him up just like that. Do that on this side as well. Fold this out. I'll fold out the right part, Paul. What am I? I'm silly sometimes. Rotate that around just like so. Rotate this up, and then you're going to rotate them around like that. Then just kind of straighten them up just like so. Come around here to these sides. You want to detach and then rotate. And actually, I think you're supposed to get it around like that. So let me rotate that around proper. Then get this detached, rotate this out, and then you're going to spin these around up like so. Now, I will say that transforming him back into his vehicle mode is a little bit more tricky than going into his robot form, but that's why you're here. You're watching me, so I can help you out as much as possible. Swivel these bits out, rotate this around, and then you can bring these around, and you got a little section right in here that this is going to slot into right there. And yes, that was my phone. So again, coming back up here, rotating this around, tuck that in and tab that into place just like so. Bring these up, and actually I could have did this before, tab that in there, and then you just bring that up there just like that, and then line all this up. Then pull this away from the body, and then you rotate these around, kind of straighten out that. And again, I did have that in the wrong configuration. You want to bring this down and have this tucked just like so. So bring this back, rotate this so that this yellow section here is on the bottom, and then rotate that around and straighten out the doors. Bring this in. Now you do have these little hole sections here that are going to tab into this little notch right there. So you just bring that in and get that straight, and then tab that into place just like that. Do that on this side as well. Get that lined up properly. Get these, I'm going to bring these out of the way. Makes things a little bit easier. Bring that up, lock that into place. There you go. Now you got the arms in there properly, and just kind of wiggle that, make sure that they're positioned in there right. Then this is the part that gets a little bit tricky, going back for his actual leg, or back half of the car with the legs. So we're going to detach these, take these little pieces out. We're just going to set those off to the side just like so. These are going to rotate around, and then this whole section is going to angle up, and you bend these knees down here, bring this around. This, like I said, this whole section is a little bit tricky. You want to rotate this, get this knee section pushed back. There we go. Then this is going to be able to bend, is going to collapse right there, just like that. So now you get basically an idea of what's happening. There we go. And then bring this in, come on, something like that. All right, we're gonna do it like this. On this side, like I said, that I know is going to go right there. And then these legs will fit together just like so. Kind of take this, angle this in. No, actually, yeah, put that in there. I put this on the wrong side. So bend this, tuck that in, and then you're going to be able to bring these two halves together, kind of give them a little push just like so. There we go. We're getting things proper right now. So you're bringing this in. There we go. There we are. There we go. Get that like that. It is a little bit tricky to do. The instructions are actually really clear. It's just one of those things where you have to make sure that you get it in the right kind of orientation. And I'm having a hard time getting this part here. Where's the little tab section? There you go. Go in there. Oh, no, and it popped out again. There we are. Keep that there. Keep that there. Bring this. Keep that angled up like so. And boom, hey, look at that. All right, and then kind of hold this forward, and then bring this up, lock this into place right up there. Again, hold that forward because you got a little tab section right here that comes up, and you want to make sure that that's on the outside. So squeeze that, squeeze this in, there we go, collapse that. And this didn't tab in, there we go, collapse that in like so. Just like so. Give that a nice little squeeze. Look, I'm finally doing it. Yay, guys. Aren't you proud of me? You're so proud of me. I know you are. And then this. You just fit this in here. You fiddle with this. Which way do you want to go? Here we go. I'm just going to put it like this, right? There we go. Holy mackerel. I'm terrible at this. All right, so we're looking this up. We're seeing how that is. And then it pegs in right. Boom. Just like so. And then you take this, you tab it right on there, and get that straightened up. And actually, aren't they? Yeah, these are supposed to stay tucked under. I apologize. So tuck those back underneath, just like so. And pop this off. Wow. So ridiculous, guys. I'm sorry, but there you have Brawny back in his vehicle mode. Now, despite the fact that I am not good at transformations, I really do like this guy. Granted, the vehicle mode isn't exactly what Brawn looked like in the G1 cartoon, but I really think that they did a great job of updating it. And I think it resembles him fairly well. Now, like I said, the transformation honestly is not that difficult. Going to robot mode is a little bit easier. Coming back to a vehicle mode in terms of the back section here can get a little bit tricky, but one thing that I will say is, even though you're kind of moving things around and you're kind of squeezing things and trying to get them lined up properly, nothing seemed like it was going to break. So I really feel that this is a very durable figure and worth what you're paying for him. And then when you get him to that robot mode, there is no mistake that that is Brawn. But I really do like this guy. I think it is a great figure, and as I've said, works perfectly with Masterpiece figures. So if this is one that you're interested in adding to your collection, he is available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store where you can pick this up and add it to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/TeamBotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. Also, I'd encourage you to check out my website at OptibotimusReviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, see what I have coming up for future release, and also get your very own Optibotimus t-shirt. And finally, I'd also really appreciate it, guys, that if you like this review, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.